this meeting to order. Approval of tonight's agenda or additions or anything that they'd like to see. Anybody have anything they'd like to add or look for a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, minutes. Everybody have a chance to go over last meeting's minutes? Anything they'd like to see changed, correct? I did not see anything that struck me as out of the ordinary, so I'll look for a motion to approve the June 8th minutes.
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Well, opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, new business.
So first item is the Mayor Rising Community Festival. I just wanted to give an update. So I know we had originally planned for the Hydro Blaster, but there was some issues with getting it. And so what we did instead, and I did inform you by email, is we did 2 beanbag toss games and then a giant Connect 4 game. And then I did put together a flyer with information about what we've been up to for the last 2 years, and then on the back just inviting people to connect with us either at a meeting or email me directly or call me if they have any questions on what we're up to. So yeah, and then I also had some candy that we handed out. Yeah, we did have, I know there was,
Hey,
yeah.
you're good.
Yeah, so I mean, I think overall the festival in itself went really well. I think there was really good attendance. I think next time we might need to do a little bit of better coordinating with like these events to make sure everybody can. I know things come up and you can't be there, but just notifying me ahead of time commitments, and because I know we had discussed it at a previous meeting. So I know we did have some park commission presence there, but it would have been nice to have more. So just wanted to throw that out there. But otherwise, I think it went really well. I think next year.
Who's there?
I was there.
You were there? Okay.
Yeah.
And Chad? Nice.
I think next year, yeah, just planning to expand on it. I know one thing would be that we should have maybe is a sign, because I think, I think some people just didn't know what we were doing and who we were, and I think I was going up to people and they were kind of caught off guard with my information that I was presenting, but yeah, I think next time having like a large sign, and then people can kind of come to us and know who we are instead of us having to.
I can even bring like a canopy, we can hang a sign from or something, kind of have like our own little booth area.
Yep.
Yeah.
The games behind it or whatever, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, the giant Connect 4 thing was like a huge hit with the little kids. Like,
Was
I
it?
think it was just
Good.
kind of
Good.
plopping it in and.
But the beanbags, people started playing towards the afternoon
Yeah, like that worked a little bit. That worked pretty well too.
for a last minute.
Last minute
Yeah.
throw together thing, so.
And it was kind of a little chilly in the morning too, so maybe the Hydro Blaster not working out was a good thing.
Actually,
But-
all day it wasn't really like super hot.
No, it was nice out.
But
I don't know. I wasn't anywhere near here.
yeah, so that's what I had on that. So, I think it makes sense for us to be there, and yeah, got some ideas already for next year. So
Good.
we'll bring it up again as we get closer to next year's
Well,
event.
yeah, thank you for taking care of that, and thank you all who was ever able to make it. I appreciate that. And yeah, sounds like it was, for a last minute deal, it sounds like it went okay. So,
We had a lot of people do that
The baseball.
clinic.
Yeah.
So at one point I walked down with the bowl candy and the flyers and handed out to all the parents that were sitting there.
Okay.
waiting.
Awesome.
Nice. Good deal. Good
Yeah,
deal.
that worked out
Awesome.
well.
All right. Okay, let's move on to Blue Jay Park fence.
Yeah, I know at the last meeting, we had talked about, the new parking lot going in on Third Street. And then with the new hoops going in and kind of a question as to should we consider putting a fence in between, so that protecting cars and kids going into the street. I think, I talked to Kyle today about it at our staff meeting. I did bring it up prior to, but today he went out and he did some measuring and he felt like, there's still a pretty good buffer there. I think he said it was like a little over 30 feet between that and the road. And he said if we do consider putting something in between, he suggested shrubs instead of a big fence, maybe. But that's kind of where that's at right now. But
I just look as the shrubs as like a trash dump. Rather, I mean, not that they're not gonna look nice, but stuff blows around and,
Fence would catch the same stuff. I mean, it's more visible, so maybe it's more likely to get picked up by staff, but
Have we had people call and complain that their cars are being hit?
I don't even think they're parking there yet.
no, I don't think
Oh, yeah,
there's
that's-
any parking. But then Kyle also said maybe, and I agree, maybe waiting a little bit before we can, and seeing if people
Right.
reach out to us with any concerns about it.
And it doesn't have to be, a 16-foot fence, put up a 5-foot, not even a 6-foot fence, 4-foot fence or something, just something, a buffer. I don't know.
My question is there gonna be a sidewalk in front of the parking?
Yes, there is, I think. No, there isn't.
Um,
I guess I would suggest that.
'Cause where does that sidewalk run? That they just installed?
Well, they put a corner
little giant-
sidewalk,
Yeah,
but it's like it goes to nowhere, so that's why I'm suggesting that would be a sidewalk in front of the parking, because then you could hedge or fence type of thing. So,
that sounds,
just because, that way they're not gonna walk out on the street, they're gonna walk forward onto the sidewalk versus walking in the street and versus somebody getting hurt.
is that something we could possibly bring to council and hurry through while they're still doing street construction?
I don't know.
let me look into it. Let me talk to the engineer and we'll just coordinate
Because
and
it
look
would
at
just-
some of the
I'm
plans.
sure it'd still be cheaper, because if they're still doing cement,
Yeah.
curbs and things.
is there any accessible stalls in that parking? So, don't we need to provide a route that's not in the street?
That's a good question.
I would almost think so, because if chances are good, you're gonna put the picnic tables and whatever on the south side of the basketball court by the water treatment facility. Yeah, how would a person in a wheelchair access that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we used to do, I used to work on, private, commercial sites, and sometimes your accessible route would be through the park, across a travel lane, or a driving lane in the parking lot. If you think about, you go to a grocery store or whatever, there's not always
Yeah, I
a
know.
route in front of the vehicle, a lot of times the route is behind the vehicle, but that's across a driving lane, and I don't know, it's a question for the engineer, I guess.
Yeah, let me look at the plans. I know when we designed it way back when it was approved, that stuff has to be considered. So I would assume right now that is built in somehow, but I can always double check and send you guys the information.
Just so we don't do the fence or hedge and all of a sudden,
Right.
find out we really should have that sidewalk, and whether or not you're doing a sidewalk down say the water treatment plant side there too, versus the school side.
Right.
Right.
So that could be future stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, let me just check the plans again, because I know a few months ago, we redid a few of it. I mean, we pulled out a couple trees and kind of redesigned some parts of it, so I just have to look at it again and see
Especially
what we
with
did.
the car show, it seems to be getting bigger and bigger up there, so it'd be nice to be a little more
accessible.
accessible for people to walk down instead of,
Okay, yeah, so let me do a little review on the sidewalk, and then, do you agree just waiting a little bit and seeing, well, I can get back to you on the sidewalk, I'll see what I find out, but then, maybe just wait to see what happens.
Yeah, I think this is something that we need to
yeah, that's.
review again in the future.
Yeah, that's for sure. Something
See
we
if we have any
after the
complaints, if we have anybody that's concerned with.
fact. Yep.
Okay. All right, are we good on that one?
Yep.
Okay. So I wanted to bring back some of the pavilion discussion with you. I did meet with the Public Works Committee, and we did review, we did have a discussion on kind of the three main concepts that we have right now. And so, as you know, we do have, I think I have a packet there, Mike, if you want to look. We have the concept from Flagship, which is pretty much just a shell of a building. We would still have to provide, we would still have to provide electrical, plumbing, the plumbing work, and the concrete work for that building. So that price is not included in what I provided to you. And that is still estimated to be around $375,000. I did talk with Public Works, more about the rehabbing of the Public Works shed, and Mike, I don't know if you know more, about the history. I don't know if you were on the park board then, but I know Kyle had mentioned that this was looked into at the time, and the inspector and the architect did an assessment and determined that it wasn't
Yeah, I
feasible to bring it
had a
up to
meeting with
code.
Kyle yesterday, and we kind of went over some of these things. I'd kind of forgotten about some of those, but I know that it was deemed that if we were to try and repurpose this building, we would have to go out for architectural, structural engineering would have to go through it. We'd have to have foundation put underneath because it's just floating slab. Basically, by the time we're done, we're right back to square one. So, like I say, after going through some of these things with Kyle, again, I don't see where repurposing this building is just a feasible option. Because I just, like I say, I think, by the time we get through with engineering and footings and all this other stuff, it's gonna be a tough road to hoe, I think. So, I like your design, I like your concept, I like your idea. I think we're gonna end up in the same place we're gonna end up in the end, right? The money situation's gonna be about the same. So, I think maybe we look into new structures and, we still need to run water and we still need to run sewer and, so we're still at the same place we are now.
Okay.
So,
I'll still investigate a little bit, but.
okay, yeah, and then that's fine.
Yep. I'm not gonna spend too much time, but I'll investigate a little bit and see if
Okay.
there's.
I just know, like I say, going through with Kyle, we discussed some of the engineering aspects of it, and after having Ram Builders here, the city engineer, and some of the other people looking at the building, that we still has to go out for engineering, it's still gotta go out for architectural design, it's still gotta go out for all that, so it's like, well, are we really advancing ourselves or not? But, I mean, if we can find a case where, yes, we are, then it would be something to consider, but I just, Kyle kind of bummed me. Because I was kind of looking forward to possibly being able to repurpose that and use that.
Yep.
And, I just don't, after going through it with Kyle, I just don't see where it's gonna
Okay.
be feasible. So,
Back to the drawing board?
I think so. I think that's our,
Yeah, so we do have the flagship option. I just don't think I don't know if it's the best route at this time. I think that's why I brought it back for discussion. We do have the design shelter that the Park Commission in 2016 put together with an
Yes.
architect. We did put that out for bid in 2018, and it came in, the low bid was 329,000. I did reach out to the architect again, and I just said, based on this type of building and what you're seeing, what do you think it would bid at? And he said he thought it would be about 420. So those are like the three ideas that I have right now. Otherwise, my fourth option is, and I think we've discussed this in the past, like what if we just did a basic plumbed bathrooms in its own kind of area, and then like a basic pavilion similar to like Westridge Park, maybe a little bit bigger, and just separate it, but I don't know. That's just kind of my fourth option.
And the main savings would be from not putting in like a kitchen facility?
No, I don't think there is a kitchen.
There
in
isn't a
there.
kitchen facility in any of this.
That's what I, well, on the,
In
on
Ryan's,
Ryan's,
yeah, Ryan's there was.
oh, this is separate,
Yep.
oh, okay.
This
I
was
was
the concept,
confusing
if we
this.
were
I was
be able
confusing
to
this. I gotcha.
reuse what we have existing.
I got you. I thought
And
that
that's why I
was-
like
that
the
was
idea.
this.
I mean, I think it's a great concept. I like everything there.
I thought that was part of the other thing. I see.
So,
So if we were to do a separate building, would that also include like changing rooms? Because
I think you would do, yeah, I think we would do big enough bathrooms that would include kind of a changing section.
like a stall?
I just think it would look better altogether, don't you?
I agree. I
Just
less-
having
it's less
several
space.
piecemealing
Piecing
things,
buildings,
you know, yeah.
three separate entities
You
out there.
have this
yeah.
one over here, you have this one over here, just, I'd like
It's
to
gonna
find
cost
out.
more if you separate it.
I would think so.
separate projects,
Yep.
unless you're gonna build them together, I mean, it's still, but yeah, it's two buildings.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna have to want, if you would, just do the pavilion, obviously you don't have to run water, but if you would put some sort of kitchen in just the pavilion area separate from the bathrooms, then you're running another
Another water line.
water,
You're
sewer.
doing all that over
Doing it
again.
twice.
Mechanical
Yep.
places then too.
Yep.
I mean, one option this is something that we're not going to really put out for bid until, if we got to that point, that's, the 420,000 is based on information now.
Right now.
So we
Right.
don't know if things will change in the next 6-7 months.
Who does our who's doing our pavilions in our other parks? Who's doing our pavilions in our other parks?
The basic.
Like
one,
Westridge, yeah.
I would have to ask Kyle. I think that was put up before me.
Yeah, that would have been
Yep,
right before
just-
you, but I'm just curious as to who and what kind of a concept they would have.
Yeah, I think those, I'm just assuming that those are already pre-architected, like, it's already done at the architecture.
But they might have something in
Yeah,
different scales, because I know
Yeah.
when that went in, we looked at smaller, we had looked at larger, we had looked, tried to figure out what size should go in there.
yeah,
We didn't ask about anything in this kind of a realm, but they might have something that is prefabricated that is similar to what Landscape Structures has here. And maybe, being that we've done business with them before, maybe there's a chance of a better, I know those are fairly inexpensive.
yeah.
Is
I
there-
think the one thing that you have to, because, I can ask that, but I think we'll probably, just feel like we'll get something similar to Flagship, that kind of fabricated building that and again, the Flagship one is, we still need to add a lot of stuff into it.
Right, exactly. I mean, that is just a structure.
Is the
That's all it
main,
is.
so the main reason for ongoing maintenance costs with the one option is mostly because of the siding material?
Well, yeah, so, and Mike would probably know better too, is, instead of I think we originally wanted like a brick
It's like mason,
building.
yeah,
Yeah,
mason
like
Yeah.
a mason.
structure.
just for less maintenance
Right.
over time and,
So look at this other one was like proposed as like a cedar
Yeah.
siding. So like is steel, I mean, maybe
So
for
this would
somebody
be
else, is
steel.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like steel of, well, I think
No,
that's,
the
I
roof
think
is
that's,
steel, the walls are cedar.
Right, so that's
This
all
is
cedar.
cedar, okay,
so
yeah.
is there a difference between steel siding and in between, when you go from steel, from cedar to steel,
I
where?
think
Steel's
if we
gonna
did
last
steel,
longer.
we'd
I was
have to
gonna
put
think
some
steel's cheaper.
brick on the front, right, in order to go.
yeah, we do.
Oh,
have
for our,
we do have
for our standards.
Yeah, we do have some codes that we do need to
Well, you
meet.
could do like a 4-foot
yeah.
border or something. on the way around.
But I was just thinking, like, if you look at 375,000 for a prefab building, and we still have to add all that stuff in, it's almost makes sense just to go back to our original
Original
bid that
brick
one out,
structure.
but-
and-
I mean, for
Unless
something
we
that,
have that's, I guess, my question is like, if the difference is that, probably not very much. Do we have a set budget that we're trying, I mean, we have a number we're trying to hit, which is less than we've gotten.
right?
But if that's what if the desire for the project is to check the boxes, it almost seems like it's what it costs.
It's gonna be $1 million bill.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now I'm just trying to get guidance on which route we want to keep looking at, because
I think the
This is kind
original
of-
plan is kind of our best option. I think
yeah, because this is kind of step one, like, we need the
Right.
pavilion figured out before we even, because we need a plumbed building in place around the same time as the splash pad, because we can't have the splash pad first.
Right.
So-
right. It's gotta be, this has to be put in before we can discuss splash pad, more or less, unless it's happened simultaneously, and that's a big.
Right.
So anybody that was there at the Rising American Community Festival, do you see where this would be a big need?
I think it'd be beneficial.
I mean, do you see where this
I think-
would have helped?
Well, I mean, they did put up tents and picnic tables and so on and so forth. I guess, and it's only once a year. But I would hope that we would host other events if we had something like this as well. But there again, that's only a hope.
Well, and I
think
can
with
see,
the Lions Club
Yeah, exactly.
becoming more active in the community, I
Right.
think they would probably host more events there going forward.
And-
there was
and-
another party in Westridge Park again this weekend.
Yes,
There's
there was.
parties there every
There's
week.
parties there all the
They
time,
play
so that's where
volleyball
I
and go
see
out
this concept being even better with the bathrooms and
Yep.
everything.
Yeah, because families using it for,
Yeah, there was a
Graduation
birthday party or
birthday-
whatever it was
yeah.
down there. I couldn't believe the people. I'm like, holy moly.
And I'm assuming we could rent it out, because obviously the kitchen and so on and so forth is not gonna just be open to the.
Well, this
general
does not
public.
have a
This wasn't-
kitchen concept.
Yeah, okay.
Right, correct.
Right,
This one.
neither one.
Oh, that one did
This one
either?
did-
Oh,
no.
I thought that one did.
No, this one here,
Okay.
we had put in stainless steel
I think we did more.
ledge
cross
table
walks.
with outlets.
Okay.
So like you could put
You could- you
roasters
could
and so on.
roasters or
crock
whatever.
pots.
Oh, that's what I thought we meant by like kitchen thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't think we'd want like,
I don't think we
you don't
need
want
an
them-
open concept kitchen.
no,
with-
or
I
like.
don't
a-
think you need stoves and things,
No,
but it would be
nothing like
nice to
that.
have a sink to clean up in.
A sink and space for roasters and stuff is.
Yeah, and, just, I don't know.
Well, what about the concession stand right now? That can be rented out, right?
I wish it wasn't so
Yeah,
far
it
back.
can be.
I wish it wasn't so far back.
Well,
I think there was a lot of discussion too, like transforming that, but then
It's
it's
so far
so
away.
far.
and there's just no room to go with anything,
Can we move the building?
right? We jack it up and haul it up top.
Yeah, that's a long ways.
Yeah,
you-
again,
So, I guess I would like to see moving more so this direction. I have a question on, can we, without definite plans, can we move forward with getting sewer run from Blue Jay through? Because no matter whether we do the splash pad, the pavilion, any of those are gonna need to have sewer. We have to have sewer running through this area.
Sewer and water, yeah.
Water is there, water is up to the hydrant. But it's a matter of, and is that something that we can maybe
Yeah, I know.
get started,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, I know Public Works said that that can be done independently beforehand. Yeah, I would be open to that idea if, I guess, what I would suggest is doing like and I know we've been wanting to do a joint session with city council. I've been wanting to get a little bit more of a conceptual idea of where we're gonna, this project before we bring it to them, but I would say at that time that would make sense to maybe discuss, investing in that ahead of time, but it is feasible. I know Public Works said that that's something that can be separate from the project ahead of time.
Because like I said, I believe whatever goes in, we're gonna have to have sewer.
Right.
Water is here, we just need to get a sewer line run through.
But would you guys all agree to like that kitchenette style, almost, nothing huge, you know, maybe like a 10 by 8 room? You know, you got a prep table, a countertop, maybe a microwave. You don't need a stove or anything like that, some outlets.
It'd be nice if, the only other thing that'd be nice if it opened to the area.
Right.
So you have.
Yeah,
your
roll
big
up
table.
doors,
Roll-up
Yeah.
windows.
stainless steel shelf there that you can set stuff on.
Because it didn't look like this.
Plug-ins on the
this
inside
concept
beneath.
really had that, because this was oriented with bathrooms on either.
Because
Right.
you're gonna keep it
Either
more
side.
contained then. Lions can keep things controlled then, or whoever's using
Right.
it, because then it's a safety thing then too. You're keeping the general public or people group out of that area.
Well, and
Right.
this way too, I don't think you'd need to run heat or air conditioning or any
No,
of that
it's just
kind of
open
stuff.
air.
It's just
It's
open
open
air.
in the
Yeah,
summer.
your door's open, you get flow from that side. Your big door's open, you get flow.
Do we charge to rent out any other pavilions, or are they just open for?
They're just,
So with something like that, then would we charge because we'd have it?
Only if you use the
after?
kitchen, I would think.
I mean, if you, yeah, so it's not something we've,
Are any of the other ones reservable?
we just
to be
kind
the
of say
only-
first come, first.
Right,
served.
right.
'Cause it's, I
Public
would
park.
say it's just logistics. The
Right.
staff has, it's difficult
Creates more
to-
work.
I would say, well, with the concession stand, that's rentable, but with the pavilions being open and we just kind of say try and get there early and reserve it.
You know, and I like the idea of a kitchen, I really do.
Like I said, nothing huge.
I know, I don't know. Here again, it's how much money do we want to spend on opening up and going back out for architectural design, drafting? You know, this whole process, just this alone is a good chunk of money.
Right. Can we just make a
You know,
room with
and
a
that's
sink?
something that I
and add
don't
the
know
rest
if we
later?
want to go back. And that is maybe something
Well,
we
you
can
got
do.
a sink
We
in the
maybe can,
restrooms, though.
Put the door, put the roll up in, and then we can have the roughed in plumbing for a sink and we can add it later. Cause I'd hate to
Or
see
could
we do
just
this
expand
and
the
then
building?
this isn't what we want.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna, since the architect has general concept, it's not gonna take him much to
No,
move some stuff around.
that's a rotation of the building in this view. I mean,
I still like your design though with the old style
right, I really, I,
mirror look.
like I say, I was kind of disappointed and bummed out when we got it.
Can't, we can't apply anything like this then to the new building? That kind of front-looking design?
Like I say,
An architect on
we
board.
can, you know, we can go after whatever we want to go after, but
And how much we wanna
there
spend.
again, it's all comes down to
Right.
how much do we want to put into this. And,
Right.
I mean, we've put, you know, I've been on this for 9 years now, and this is as far as we've gotten. You know,
And if like
we
a
just
kitchen is
haven't
something
moved
we
on.
can add later,
and that's, you know what I mean? It's not that I'm stuck with this, it's just how much more money do we want to invest?
Right. I ju-
You know?
and are
How
we gonna
much
get
more-
council buy-in if it just keeps creeping?
If
up
it,
and up?
yeah, if we keep moving and advancing and changing and doing that, I mean, are we doing ourselves any better? Are we doing the community any better? And at what point is the council just gonna go, you guys can't make up your mind,
The thing is.
you know?
To make it like an 8 by 10 room, I don't think that's gonna add that much money. And if we just rough in the plumbing for now, because they're already gonna be plumbing, the bathroom's gonna be on the other side of the wall for the sink. I mean, that section of pipe isn't gonna be,
Right?
This building footprint would get, I mean, looking at this previous flagship concept, the footprint would change, I mean, pretty significantly. I mean, it's basically like, I don't know.
We
if I'm
don't
reading
have
the
to
directions
figure
right,
this
but-
out tonight.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely
Right, no.
not.
So I
No.
think tonight, I just need more of like a direction as to where we're wanting to go, just so I can figure out some financial stuff.
Okay,
And
what-
then I think eventually we will need to kind of get an idea for the splash pad and just the project scope, so that we can then bring it to council and share our ideas with them, you know, this
Right.
included, and kind of get some collaboration on
So-
the vision,
We-
so.
We have this concept with this that's done with this architect, that's basically like a biddable document.
It is.
Is this company still in business? Olson
Yep.
Hobie?
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Could we
Yeah, I
find
reached
out-
out to him.
Could we find out what the cost would be to update the concept to include a kitchen facility or something like that? I mean.
Just even a
assuming they
room.
would give, yeah, or a room, you know, a separate room. I'm assuming they would give us a
Yeah, I
number
can
on that.
Right,
see, I
right,
can just
that's what I was
see.
gonna-
room,
what it
roll-up
would
window
Yeah,
and
because I don't know that it's worth going out for with a different architecture firm,
Right,
you know,
no,
like
right,
to progress
exactly.
that for when we have this to this level.
Right. And
That seems
that's
like a
kind of
good-
where I was, that's, you know, thank you for bringing that up, that's where I was gonna go.
But you'd have to
is-
bid it, you'd have to have them change it to at least add the roll-up, because that's gonna, you don't wanna cut out
Yeah.
that
Right.
later and so on and so
We
forth.
can tell them what our plan would be.
Right.
Or say like, this is what we'd like to
Rough
potentially
in.
do.
Right,
Well, let's just see what it would take to update the concept.
That's what I was mentioning.
Let's
yeah,
just
like-
check in the numbers on what it would take to update the concept, to go back after something, and if it's, I mean, and then we can discuss it from there.
Yeah, I think that can, again, be brought to that joint meeting. Just
Yep.
say, hey, this is what we're thinking about, what do you think?
This is what we've
This is how
got.
much it would cost to update the plans for that, and,
And that's a concise vision too, to say like, you know, we as a, you know, the park commission feel like this is a great facility, the bathrooms are needed for a splash pad. We would love to see some facility that could be, you know, used for, you know, hosting a party or whatever. And so we'd like to advance this, or we just build this, which we currently have plans for.
Right.
And we can progress forward with, but this is what
Yeah.
our vision is.
And like I said, it's in their computer, so they just gotta
Yeah.
move a couple
Yeah,
lines
it's not,
around.
it's not hard.
Right.
But they're still, it's, their time is, I don't know how much, it could be $200
Right.
an hour or
Yep,
whatever.
probably is.
So we'll let Maggie look at that, talk with them, see what they say, as far
We
as
won't be spending
budget
any
wise.
money right now?
No.
You don't think?
No.
I'll just ask him if he can quote what it would cost.
To,
do
to
that.
update the
Yeah,
plan.
for the
You
architecture.
might just do something off, just go, hey, it's, I can.
And he might,
Yeah.
but let's find that out first
Yep.
before we move forward too
Yep.
far and
sounds
start
good.
spending more money. So, perfect. All right. 2021
after-
project. Oh,
Well, after we get that part down, is that then when we talk about splash pad more?
So I've been trying to narrow down some of that information with the companies and just some concepts. And so, yes, I'll bring that to you guys probably in August, and then I'm hoping to do like the joint one in September when we have.
Sounds
the
good.
both. And then we can get a feel for what council thinks and go from there. Yeah, so 2021 projects. So I just wanted to give you an update. So on page 28 is our long-term plan. So, as you know, we have had quite a few large projects in the last couple years. So we did do the playground equipment in Discovery Park. We did some the skate park equipment, and then we are finishing up the basketball court right now. And then before that, we did a significant amount of work in Westridge Park as well. So right now, I think this was based on a discussion that we had very early in the year. So, as you know, some of the projects didn't get completed in 2020, and so we're finishing them up in 2021. And they're almost completed. I think we just need I think the basketball hoops and Discovery Park are going up this week, and then we're gonna paint it, probably within the next couple weeks. So with that, I just wanted to talk to you about priorities. My recommendation, is just to kind of wrap up these projects that we're currently working on, get the park signs up, and, yeah, and then kind of just wait for the rest of the year. Let's just not do any other projects. Let's keep working, focusing on the pavilion and splash pad and just putting our energy there. That's just my recommendation, but it is, I want to get your feedback as well.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, it'd be nice
A lot of
to
work to be done.
finish up what we got going.
And we've been
So
doing
we
a
know
lot,
where we
so
are.
I don't think.
Yeah, it's not like we've been slacking on anything, I don't feel. And, you know, you and staff have been doing great with keeping up on it, so.
Yeah, I think everything should be wrapping up probably end of July. So I think our signs should be in soon, and
That's
Yay.
exciting too.
And the roundabout started.
It looks looking really nice.
That does look good.
so that's that. And then my staff updates. Again, the park signs, we do have them ordered, and we're hoping that those will get installed within, delivered mid-July and then installed by the end of July, hopefully. Splash pad, again, just kind of, I'm personally working with both companies on some concepts, based on past discussions we've had, just having more items and just making it attractive, and, because I think there were some blah, like our first. one
Yeah.
was like, yeah, it's just a little. Basketball court and Discovery Park, that I just kind of gave you an update that that's almost completed, and we just need some painting. And then we did get the basketball hoops and Blue Jay up, and I did do a social media post on that.
Perfect.
So that's all I have, right?
Okay. Any commissioner reports? Anybody got anything to report, or?
Oh, had a good time on Saturday up here.
Good. Good. Was it a decent turnout?
Oh, yeah. I think the fire department sold out of food, the coffee truck sold out of coffee. So, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Did the Lions have something up here or not?
I think they had breakfast burritos.
Okay.
Hmm.
Because there's a food truck, I remember.
That was the coffee lady.
Oh, that was a coffee, okay.
Man, she was
That was
popular.
busy, that line.
We better get like 2-3 of them next time.
Well, that's the thing, do they?
People like their coffee, holy cow.
Kind of stuff then?
You got a new coffee shop coming in?
Because the year before there was mini donuts or something like that.
Okay,
Like 2 years ago?
I'll look for a motion to adjourn if we're done with conversations.
Motion.
For a second.
Done all right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.